All right, guys, so I want to teach you a very easy to follow strategy that you can use to trade, be profitable, and essentially travel and live anywhere you want. Um, I have a lot of different strategies that I use, but this one I found to be very high probability. And when I find certain signals, they tend to have a very high win rate. So I'm using an indicator set called Lux Algo. I'll put a link to it in the pinned comment. And you'll see at the bottom of this particular chart, which is V chain on the daily, um, it's the this is an oscillator. So they made it very clear to read. And now this particular oscillator is outdated. They have a new one, but I like using this one. And if you do decide to sign up for the Lux Algo indicator pack, what you can do is go in their Discord and just say that you want version 5, and they'll give you a link, and then you can add this to your chart. And so here we have, I'm using the Heikin-Ashi candles, and what I did is I put one line here at 85 and another line at 15. And I use this to identify kind of like overbought and oversold ranges. But now, having said that, you can remain overbought and oversold for a long period of time. But what I like to look for is, okay, so for example, see here, we came up near the 85 level, and then when we switch red, the price dumped, right? All the way down here, we came back up. We got a little bit of a boost, but then we switched red again, and then this followed. But actually what's happening is the oscillator is following the price, but I find it still gives me a good idea. Now again here, you see this oscillator turns red, switches to green about here, comes up, and then look what happened out of here, right? And now here's an interesting part. So we were over in the overbought range. We flipped red, came down, but you'll see we ended up going up again. So we did come down a bit. We came up again, and then we flipped red again. And in this particular instance, there's two things I want to point out. Number one, you can also use this particular oscillator to identify divergences. And in previous videos, I've talked about how to identify divergences using the RSI. Well, this will help you do it too. So a divergence will basically be, you see here you have the price, it makes a high, then it makes a higher high. And then on this oscillator, you have the price, it's high, and then it makes a lower high. So that's a divergence. That's called a bearish divergence. And then what you'll see after, the price went down. So just using this alone, this oscillator, selling the oversold crossovers and vice versa, you can be pretty profitable just doing that. Now, if you look here, for example, you got to wonder like, okay, why did the price stop here? What was here? Well, a couple things. So if you look, you can draw, if I was to draw a horizontal trend line tools, and I just go horizontal. So you see there was an area of support here, right? So that's one reason for the bounce. But along with this indicator, you get something called a smart trail. And what that does, it's a dynamic support and resistance area. So you'll see, and it also indicates the trend. So you see here, when we're below this red smart trail, that indicates a downtrend. And oftentimes when the price comes up to it, it'll get rejected. It serves as an area of support or resistance. So here we came up. After getting rejected here, we came up. And look, the price, when the price came to this region here, this smart trail served as a support, and it bounced up, right? And then we cross back down, we come up to it again, and then it dumps down. So here, for example, when we came up to this red smart trail area, it coincided with the time that we were overbought on the momentum oscillator, and this flipped red. Now, there's another feature in this indicator set. So if I go to the signals and overlays and I open up the settings here, I can go to, it'll give me signals. So right now I turned it off. If I turn the signals on, confirmation and exits, that's what I like to use. Well, it gives us more information here. So let's take a look here. If we can find a good example. Actually, no, up here is a good example. So this is actually my favorite trade to enter. I find this the highest probability is, again, when we're overbought and turning down near the smart trail resistance or support, or in this case, it will be the resistance. And then we also get a sell signal. So this is a good time to enter. And then you'll see we did dump. And then these X's, they mark areas where it's recommended that you take profit. So you see here, then we got 3 take profits. So you're going to scale out of the position. We got a buy signal. And when you get a buy signal in this instance, so for example, this oscillator is in the right spot, right? We're oversold. We're turning green. We're about to flip up. We got the buy. But the problem is, in this case, we got a buy signal under the smart trail. And this, again, this is the resistance. So when this happens, I only look to target. I will only take this trade if I'm far away from this smart trail, and my target would be near this resistance. So it told us to buy, and then it told us to take profits, exit the position here. Then we got to sell, and then we dumped, right? So when you actually go back and analyze this, it's surprisingly accurate. So let's look at some more examples. If I go to this ADA chart here, this is another one of my preferred setups. All things align on this setup. So we have the oscillator moving to oversold. We flip red. We start turning down. At the same time, when the price reaches the resistance as indicated as the smart trail resistance here, and then we get a sell signal. So in this example, what you would want to do is you would want to take a buy, you would want to sell it, and then you would just place your stop loss above the resistance, right? And then as it comes down, it tells you when to scale out of the position. And then you would follow it all the way down until we're oversold again, and then we get a buy. So you go long here, but you're only going to target this resistance level. And then you're going to scale out and then look for the next trade, right? So let's look at another example here. Here's Solana. It's the same thing. Oh, it's the same setup. Very high probability setup. We come until an overbought region, right? Until the price comes to the resistance, and then we get a sell signal. You would place your stop loss right here, and you would get all this all the way down. Take profits at the X's, scale out of the position. And then you see we have a buy. And then, of course, this smart trail serves as the resistance again. Resistance, resistance. Over and over again, resistance. You can sell all these, right? Here's another one. We came to the smart trail. It served as the dynamic resistance. We got to sell. Stop loss above here. And this would have been profit, right? And then it works the other way around too. Like if you're above here, then it's going to serve as a support zone and it's going to bounce off, right? Resistance, resistance. It's so crazy accurate. It's amazing. Now here's another example on Link. Same setup. Come up, overbought to the resistance level. You got a sell signal, take it, stop loss above. This all would have been profit. And then this is a daily chart. So can you imagine? So if we're going to look at short position, say you took this trade, you took this sell here, you put a stop here. Oh, where's my short position? So you would have entered the trade right here. Why is that not working? What's going on? Short position. Okay, I have no idea why my trading view is not working. But anyway, you would have placed your stop here, and this would have been all gain. That's probably about, I mean, up here you would have entered at $16, and it went all the way down to $5. Imagine if you just had like a 10x leverage on it. That would have been a massive trade, right? You can make your money for the year on this trade, right? Again, come up, resistance, kept getting slammed down. It's just so effective, right? So let's take a look again. Same setup on Litecoin. It just repeats over and over and over again, and it works on every time frame. This happens to be the daily, but you can scale down to the hourly, the 15-minute, whatever, and just look for these opportunities. Stop loss up here, oversold, right, to the resistance, and just follow it down, right? Again, rejected. It's great. Bouncing off it as support now. Now, it works the other way as well. So, for example, here, in this example, we're on the Ethereum on a weekly time frame. We came down to this oversold region. We started to cross up at the same time. Now, this doesn't happen very often. I find it this setup happens a lot more for short opportunities than long. But here we have it. We came all the way down. We printed a doji. The smart trail, now that it's blue and under the price, it serves as a support level. So right here, it all lined up. You see? Below 15, around the 15 level, cross up, got the buy signal above the support. And you would have take profit here, take profit here, take profit here. Came down again. The smart trail, the dynamic support worked, and we went all the way up. Now, if I'm to look for another example here, well, right now, actually, you see we came up to it, we got rejected. This is overbought. So we're going to see what happens here. We're getting a lot of pressure here, and this looks like it's starting to twist down. However, one thing, if I'm just going to switch the candles here, yeah, the more you hit a resistance level, the more likely it is to break. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because I'm getting some bullish signs. Like we got a resistance support flip here. This is a strong bullish engulfing candle. So we're going to see what happens in this instance. But over and over again, this is a great setup. Now, I'm going to flip the candles back to Heikin-Ashi because I prefer it with this strategy. There we go. Now, you're not always going to get the ideal entry opportunity where you approach the smart trail support or resistance in an oversold region. Like, for example, where is it? Was I on the weekly? Hold on here. Okay, so here, the example I just showed you, this worked out. This is the highest probability trade you're going to get, right? When this is oversold, crossing up at the support, right? More often than not, you're going to get an entry like this, where you get a strong buy signal, but you're not particularly overbought or oversold, right? You're just kind of like in the middle somewhere. I still like to take these, assuming I get the buy signal close to the support level, because it's a low risk trade, because I can just put my stop loss down here. So I still take these in either direction. So this happened to work out. I don't know if I personally would have taken this one, because we're so far away from the resistance level, where if I'm going to put a stop, I'd have to put it all the way up here. I'd have to risk too much on this particular trade, right? But here, well, this is one I already, no, I don't know if I already showed you this one, but this is one I would take, right? So we're forming dojis at the resistance. And yeah, I would take this entry here, and I would place a stop just above here, right? So let's see. Yeah, here's another example. So here we flip. So we got a lot of resistance at this red smart trail. We kept forming dojis. And then eventually, like I just mentioned earlier, the more you push up against a particular resistance, the more likely you are to break it. Think of it as like if you have like a frozen sheet of ice and then you take a hammer, you're going to hit it once, twice, third times. The more often you hit it, the more likely that ice is to break. And that's kind of similar with trading here and supports and resistances. But anyway, as soon as we came out of this, while we weren't oversold on the oscillator, which makes this trade a slightly lower probability, you could still take this trade, place your stop below here, the support, and then this would have worked out great all the way up here. Huge gain from $277. This is Ethereum. You could have rode this all the way up to the sell signal at over $4,000, right? Because this is the weekly time frame. And again, this works on all time frames. I'm just using this as an example. So again, this indicator set, it's called Lux Algo. If you decide you want to get this, I'll put the link in the description. Just make sure that to get this particular indicator, just after you sign up, you'll get access to a Discord where they have all kinds of like calls and stuff. Like if you don't want to keep track of all this, people share when they find these entries in the Discord. But just go in the Discord group and tell them that you want version 5, and they'll give you a link and you can add this to the chart. The new indicator that they just came out with is very advanced. I haven't quite mastered it yet. I need to study more and then apply it to my own strategies. But in the future, I'm going to come up with videos explaining to how to use the new indicator. But for now, this strategy has been serving me very well. It's you see just how effective it is. Again, here it's just amazing, right? So bounce off the support, same patterns repeat. This way, it's just like a very easy way to trade. And with so many different coins, almost every day you can find a high probability setup like this, right? So when you start, look at the longer term time frame first. Those are your higher probability entries. But if you want multiple trades in a day, focus on the lower time frames, right? But this works. And I know when you're first getting started, like it can be very overwhelming. There's so many different strategies and methods, but this really just keeps it simple. It keeps it simple. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to make this video explaining the strategy. I hope you understand what I'm going to do. On the Revolt Finance website, I did a whole write-up on this. So if there's anything that you're not clear on, maybe I forgot to mention, it will be mentioned in the article that outlines all of this. I'm a much better writer than I am speaker, but give that a read. And yeah, everything should be really clear. If you're not clear on anything relating to this strategy, feel free to go to the website, send me an email, and I'll get back to you and explain whatever it is that you're not clear on. Anyway, that's it for now. Take care, guys. Bye.